Hey everyone, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Fry here in your First Alert Weather Center at Alaska's news source. And the weekend, it is almost here already, and I want to make sure you're up to speed if you have some winter recreation plans perhaps this weekend. We also have some larger storm systems setting up here for the state. Want to make sure that you're prepared well in advance for those impacts. So we are going to get right to it and look at those conditions again as we head into tonight. Now, first of all, I have to start out with this beautiful shot from Mount Baldy in Eagle River. If you were in the Anchorage area, you probably saw this morning that quick burst of snow that moved through. There were those big, fat, fluffy flakes coming down, so pretty. And we had just a beautiful sunset out there this evening. Of course, the sun has set now. The weather is calm. We're seeing those clouds breaking up a little bit and temperatures holding right now in the mid-20s. Now, Fairbanks, I want to show you this shot again. If you have not been in Fairbanks or the interior or northern parts of the state this time of year, not only of course are the days shorter in terms of how much daylight we get, but also that sun angle is so much lower. Looking to the south here from the Fairbanks Airport, I'm going to replay this for you so you can see how that sun just sits right there on the horizon. Doesn't get very high before it sets again, and temperatures responding after that sun sets again. Temperatures dropping right back below freezing there at the Fairbanks Airport. Okay, let's talk about those next big impacts that are headed to Alaska over the next week. Some things that I want to have on your radar. First of all, temperatures, they are on a slow warming trend as we head here through the next week. Temperatures are just going to slowly step up here over the next week. We are looking at active weather moving in as early as tonight for both the southeast and southwest corners of the state. I'll explain why those are the only areas seeing those impacts here tonight and tomorrow. And then we are going to see active weather really ramping up for western Alaska once we get into this weekend. Then we're going to start to see chances for snow increasing here in South Central once we get into early next week. So looking at the timing of all of this, here we are looking overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, and we'll take a closer look at those impacts. Again, this first area of low pressure, not much to write home about with this one. We will see some scattered rain showers through the Aleutians, snow mixing in for Bristol Bay as we head into early tomorrow morning. This will bring a bit of that wintry mix also to Kodiak overnight tonight, and eventually chances for a little light snow pushing into Homer before this then also brings that rain and wintry mix to the higher elevations in northern regions of southeast once we get into Friday evening. So storm number one, again, really hugging the southern portions here of the state, bringing the wind also snow and rain, again, just to those two corners of the state. Then we have another storm ramping up, pushing into the Bering Sea, first into the western Aleutians. And here we are Saturday at 3:30. That rain is coming down in the Aleutians, pushing into the Pribilofs. And you can see that snow just beginning to be on the outer edges there of the YK Delta region. This storm is likely going to bring wind and a combination of snow and rain to western Alaska all the way down into the Aleutians late Saturday into Sunday morning. And then we have a second storm that's going to follow suit and bring similar impacts as we head from Sunday night into Monday. So I want you to be prepared for those impacts again as we head into this weekend. But the jet stream still staying well south of mainland Alaska. So that's why most of these storms are taking that track. But as we head into this weekend, see that purple bullseye that we have out there in the far western Aleutians, and then that little ridge that's beginning to form. That's just showing you that those dynamics are changing. Things are starting to get higher and lower in terms of pressure. And when that happens, that's not only when the storms begin to grow, but we see them carried to different areas of the state. So again, things have been relatively calm, but as we head into this weekend, especially for western Alaska and the Aleutians, things are going to start to ramp up, and then South Central will see some of the leftover moisture from those storms. Now, overnight tonight, we're still looking at temperatures well below freezing for most of the state. 18 is what I'm forecasting for Anchorage, 16, 15 for Wasilla. 11 below in Fairbanks. We're also going to see those sub-zero temperatures likely up in Dead Horse. And just a quick note, this does not include the wind chill, which we're not seeing any extreme wind, but even a little bit of wind, 10-15 miles per hour, can really drop that wind chill in terms of what those temperatures actually feel like on your skin. That can drop pretty dramatically. So it's that time of year. Of course, just be mindful as you head outdoors. If temperatures are below zero or that wind chill is below zero, really important that you have those extra layers and that your skin is protected. Now, Western Alaska, we will see single digits in Bethel, but that is one of the areas that will likely see below zero wind chill values as we head overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. And I just want to point out on this map, the areas that are green and purple and white, that's showing you where the moisture is. So the green, of course, is rain. When you see those purple colors, that is snow. Pink is right in between the two, and that is a snow rain mix. But everything, once you get again north of about the Alaska range, holding on to those clear, dry conditions. Now, we have seen a switch in the weather pattern for us here in Fairbanks, starting out with warm conditions at the beginning of this month. Temperatures were not even dropping below freezing during the day, but over the last 4 days, what a change. Again, with high temperatures not even getting above zero, and we've held on to, again, chilly conditions into this week as well. In terms of the moisture that we've seen, again, wet conditions to start the week, much drier conditions heading into the weekend. Now for Anchorage, similar pattern with warm weather to start the week, 40s on the 1st of November, and now those temperatures have dropped into the teens and 20s for high temperatures. So again, quite a dramatic shift, and also holding on to dry conditions for the most part. After we got that snow and record precipitation 2 weekends ago, we have seen dry conditions ever since. So looking ahead, again, it is the Aleutians where we will see those most significant impacts. Do be prepared for high winds tomorrow in Adak, gusting to 45 miles per hour, 50 in Unalaska. We'll also see those wind gusts up around 45 miles per hour in Cold Bay. Breezy winds in St. Paul and Dillingham, and that is where we will see more of a snow rain mix tomorrow. Southeast is the other area that will see wet conditions tomorrow. We'll see that rain again, mostly on the south side, where high temperatures will be in the low to mid 40s. So still warm conditions from Sitka into Ketchikan, but up north, the showers will be more in and out. We'll get some sun breaks in the mix, but because those temperatures are colder, especially overnight, we will see chances for some snow mixing in there in Haines, Skagway, and into Yakutat. Now tomorrow for the interior, it's sunny, but it is chilly. Single digits in Fairbanks. High temperatures about 12 degrees there in Healy. Mostly sunny, staying below zero in Fort Yukon. And looking ahead to the next 7-day stretch, this is where you can really start to see that warming trend. Again, single digits and below zero through the weekend. But as we head into next week, you can see those temperatures warming as much as 20 degrees by the end of the week. Now, still holding on to dry weather for the interior. Few flurries possible early next week, but otherwise relatively calm conditions continue for you. Now for South Central, again, chances for those light snow showers tomorrow near Homer. A bit of that wintry mix in Seward, Whittier, even pushing into Girdwood. Otherwise, we'll see partly sunny skies for Anchorage and the Valley with high temperatures back into the mid to upper 20s. And again, looking at that extended forecast, you can see this weekend is still quiet in South Central, mid 20s during the day, teens overnight. But then as we head into next week, we will see those high temperatures ramping up even above freezing a little bit. So again, I'm very closely watching that storm Monday into Tuesday. That is where we do have that potential to see that next round of snow moving into Anchorage. Right now, models have really been wobbling back and forth because there's a lot going on in the Bering Sea for those storms that are pushing in. A lot that has to happen before any of that energy or moisture reaches us in South Central. So I just want you to stay tuned again for the next 4 and 5 days. I will let you know if it looks like the timing of that snow is going to change at all, the location of where it's going to fall, and how much I'm expecting. Right now, it looks like less than 2 inches. So a relatively insignificant event for us here in South Central this time of year. We kind of expect that periodically, but if it's looking like it's going to be more than 4 inches of snow, I'm definitely going to let you know about that. 4 inches is about the threshold for when we're going to issue what you may have seen as a first alert weather day. When we issue that first alert weather day, that's just a way to give you that early heads up that something significant that's going to impact your day is coming. And less than 4 inches in Anchorage may impact your day, but it's pretty normal for us in the winter. But once we get over 4 inches, that's when the city plow crews start to come out, and it becomes a little bit more difficult to get around town. Your commute may be slowed down quite significantly. So again, once we get over 4 inches, we will likely issue a first alert weather day. Right now, again, it does not look like that'll be the case for Monday into Tuesday, but 1 to 2 inches is certainly in the realm of possibility right now. So I'll let you know if that changes. Otherwise, you'll probably notice the temperatures warming. Again, this is going to be a 10 to 15 degree warm up from what we've been experiencing, with those high temperatures pushing back into the mid 30s. And I don't know about you, but for me, once snow is on the ground, I want temperatures to stay below freezing, because it's not fun once we start to see that snow melting or getting freezing rain pushing in. So I'm hoping that those temperatures actually don't warm too much further. We get much above 36, and it does become a concern that we start to see melting and thawing, and start to see more of that freezing rain potential. So I'll keep you updated if that should be the case, well in advance. But otherwise, right now, keeping it right there in the mid 30s would be a nice place to stay, and at least not quite as chilly as it has been. Thanks for joining me here tonight from the First Alert Weather Center. You can always get your local forecasts on our weather app and our weather website. And again, thank you to everyone who's been sending the fantastic aurora pictures this week. Do keep them coming. Hope you have a great rest of your evening.